loads of questions. We'll just go back and forth.
Was there actually, or was there like 2 or 3?
I could show. There was, I reckon, 80 messages came in.
The most he's ever had.
A lot of them were about the chip shop and superhero war. I thought we don't need to go into that. There's too many good ones. This one comes up a lot, and this is when you know
It wasn't a chip shop; it was a kebab shop.
that you're doing well, right? Is the hate starts to come in because what happens is when you start off, people who follow you and listen to you will like you, right? And then when you get to a decent enough level of audience, then the hate starts coming in, and that's part of life. So there was a bit of hate, not just for you, for me, on this question.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, go on.
Are we really Scottish?
Oh,
Which will come up all the time. Don't get annoyed with it. Let's go with it, and I'll feed a little bit, and there's an understanding with this because we both live in Scotland. Between us, we've got 113 caps for Scotland.
quick maths.
We have bled for Scotland. We love Scotland. I know you love Scotland. I love Scotland as well. But the one thing that people won't buy into is what?
My accent.
The accent. And the conversation lingers on, right? Because how do you define a true Scotsman? And that's the question, right? Because is it accent? Is it where you were born?
Of course it's not accent. Because there's people in Scotland that I think, you know, what is that accent? Like, you know what I mean? Out of Hebrides, and like the borders, like merges with Newcastle. Like,
but it is more Scottish. The Borders is more Scottish than our accent.
But I speak with a Glaswegian accent. When
I know you do.
I could actually talk that all the time.
I know you do.
Okay, tell me this. When your kids are on holiday, right, and someone says to JJ, "Oh, where are you from?" What does he say?
Scotland.
But have they got little Edinburgh accents? Have they?
The other three have. JJ's is more hybrid. He sounds more like a
Hebridean.
Gerard Butler.
Okay, yeah.
Like a bit of a rasp.
It looks like a Gerard Butler as well.
Yeah,
to his old man.
shredded.
Yeah. But they say we're from Scotland. And
Aye.
then if someone said to him, "Oh, where, like, are you English? Are you Scottish?" What would they say? What would your kids say?
They'd say they're Scottish.
Scottish.
Yeah.
And my kids say they're Scottish.
But this is us. Me
Right.
and you.
I know, but that's like where I start. My kids genuinely believe they're Scottish because they've lived in Scotland for their whole lives, right? So if anywhere we go, people think they're adopted as well. They think they're not my kids because we go on holiday and Ava's like, "Give a shot like that," and I'm like, "Oh my god, stop!" But because my wife Bex has got a really posh English accent, very posh. Mine's not very posh, but people hear us, and you know when you're on holiday and you like when you're in the same place for fucking 14 nights and you start like going, "Oh, I wonder what the situation over there is." Everyone goes to us, "Oh, we thought they were adopted because they've all got Scottish accents." So my kids think they're Scottish, and they are Scottish because they've got less Scottish blood than me. But I'm half and half. My mum's Scottish, my dad is English. So I see myself as Scottish. I just can't help the accent. The accent is, I grew up, obviously moved up when I was 19, 20 to Scotland, and I've been there ever since. I'm 35 years old. So I'm almost getting on half my life in Scotland. You'll have lived half your life in Scotland, won't you?
Maybe not quite half, no. But my dad was in the Queensland Highlanders. We travelled. My sister was born in Northern Ireland. I was actually born near Hereford, but I was registered in Swindon. So, I mean, I've never been to Swindon in my life, ever, at all. The kids were born in Oxford and Cheltenham as well. But it's an interesting conversation because it's more so now, especially with Scotland, they're getting a bit of heat. And we can talk about that with the project players. And I completely get that part of it. But I think life has moved in a much more international direction, especially for people in rugby where their parents travel. And this is always a conversation. There's two people that get infuriated when I say I'm more Scottish than them. So Alistair Strokosh was one. He's Scotland till he dies. Do you remember Strokes? He was Scotland till he dies.
Yes, I remember Strokes. How could I not?
Half Scottish. He's only half. And I was like, well, I'm half Scottish, but I'm bigger, so I've got more Scottish blood than you because I'm bigger than you.
You've definitely got more blood in you than him.
Right. So half Scottish, half German he was. Kelly Brown. How much Scottish blood?
I don't know. You tell me.
None. He does not have a smidge of Scottish blood, Kelly Brown, right? But he speaks with a Scottish accent and is seen as Scottish, right? Because he was born there. John Barclay.
What was he? He was born in
Hong Kong,
wasn't he?
Chinese, right?
Loaded,
so John Barclay,
loaded. And he loaded.
money,
And loaded.
money, yeah.
Cash.
Yeah, boarding school.
Like, half Hong Kongese
I
or
don't
Chinese.
think,
Is that Chinese? Because it's
well,
part
it's,
China.
I don't know how it all lands now.
And then
I should know.
half cash.
Yeah. So John mum and dad is Scottish, but he's born in Hong Kong. So it's like, where were you born? And John's like, Hong Kong. Chinese. Well, he's not. So this is the big
I know, it
discussion.
is the one thing that always comes up. And obviously my accent, and no matter what, you put something on social media, he's not fucking Scottish. You know what I mean? First time we beat the English on English soil. Scotland, Shady Munro made me captain. The boys are like, fuck yeah, now why have you made Will's captain? He obviously saw something that no one else did. And we beat the English on English soil down in Newcastle. Miserable game, like 3-0. And I came on to do my interview in a Scotland shirt, and someone thought I had obviously swapped shirts. And they couldn't work it out. They're like, why is this English bloke wearing a Scotland shirt? It must have, but now he's talking we Scotland. I get it all the time. I genuinely say I'm Scottish. I'm Scottish through and through because my mum's Scottish, my nana and papa are Scottish. They're from Motherwell. I've bled for my country.
Now bleed with me.
I'm
the same. I love the fact that I say that I'm Scottish, and I think and
it annoys people.
It does annoy people for sure. And if they don't know you, or if they are more so from the Glasgow side, I've done a couple of comedy gigs over there, and they just ain't warming to me, right?
Over in Glasgow?
Over in Glasgow, yeah.
Oh, really?
Did a stand-up gig and then did a big event where Nigel Owens pulled out of the event, and then I was the headline speaker, and they had a guy called Dennis Clark speak before me, who's actually a comedian. He does the radio show up there as well. Hilarious, proper Glaswegian, works at Man United, hosts of stuff. So he was the comedian. Then I was the headline speaker, rugby and comedian after him.
Oh,
I was like, how the fuck do you follow it? People falling asleep. And it got to the point, it went that bad that I was talking about leadership by the end of the thing. So the Glaswegians don't, they're different to Edinburgh because Edinburgh is more of an English twang. But yeah, I would say that now it's different. Like Cam Redpath, are you saying that Cameron Redpath isn't Scottish when Brian Redpath's your dad?
Yeah.
But he grew up in England, English accent. Finn Smith, dad's Scottish, like as in proper Scottish. Big thing on his dad today.
Kenny Logan. His
now
boys,
Ruben.
he was at England and he's now playing.
He was at
Scotland,
Northampton. Now he's playing.
So what is he? But yeah, listen, it's one of these things. Some people want to choose the ones that know the truth. No, I'm Scottish.
I do like it though. I do like that there is that old school. It's the accent. So if you go anywhere in the world, if you say you're English, they don't like you. If you say Scottish, they love you.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah, or Irish. They love Irish and
so
Scottish people.
You'll find when you're somewhere and they don't understand the difference of accents throughout the UK, you're absolutely fine. They don't judge you. But I will often, when I'm on holiday, go, I'm Scottish, and just speak a Scottish accent and talk like that for the rest of the time, and that's it.
Yeah, and we're Scottish, by the way.
And we're Scottish. We will not let that knock our confidence. We will beat the English.